Hello, mamas, and welcome back to another episode of Motherhood is Ghetto. My name is Joy, and y'all, the weekend is here. It is upon us. It has come. How was y'all's week this week? Um, I know for me, this week was long. Started off the week with a sick kid. So Genesis caught a little bug over the weekend. So she was sick. She didn't go to school on Monday. So that was that, had to do the motherly things, get the medicine and all that stuff, help her feel better. So that's how we started off this week. And then on Tuesday, she was feeling a little better, so she went to school. And then on Tuesday, after I got off work, took the family to go see The Woman King because AMC has $5 movies on Tuesdays if you're a member or subscribed to their little thingy. So I took the family to go see that movie, and 5 stars, 500 stars. I love the movie. The movie was so great. My son stood up at the end and was clapping. He was the only person in the movie theater clapping. But it was a great movie. I highly recommend. If you have not gone to see it yet, take your family or go by yourself, whatever you got to do. It's a great movie. Um, let's see. Wednesday. I don't know. I'm just going through the days, trying to give you guys a weekly recap. But yeah, just some things like I'm still on the hunt for a manufacturer for my business. I sell head wraps, on the side. So I'm looking to partner with a manufacturer to get head wraps manufactured, custom made. So still on the hunt for that. I've been doing a lot of research this weekend. And I think I'm finally ready to start calling some places to see, if I can partner with them or, if they can produce the kind of product that I'm looking to create. And let's see, what else happened this week? Went to work. Work is work. Made contact with some really dope customers this week. Got a nice 5-star review for my business this week from a cool customer. Also, too, the Motherhood is Ghetto community is growing on Instagram. Over on Instagram, I'm at 15 followers now. So if you haven't already, go over there and slide over there. Hit the follow button. Follow me. And then also the community on the podcast is growing too. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, we're here at the end of the week. So glad, so excited. I wish I can say that I have some time to rest. Well, hopefully I'll have some time to rest. But I gotta do my daughter's hair. My husband wants his hair done. Definitely gotta retwist my son's hair. So I said a mother's job is never done. But I hope you all had a great week this week, and I hope you guys are getting a great start to your weekend. So let's jump into today's episode. You already know how we do. We're going to go ahead and start off with our quote. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just what we do best. And this week's quote reads, "Wine is necessary." That's it. That's the quote. And it is so true, man, and it's so true. I got my wine right here. Y'all see it? It's right here. Or if you're listening and you don't see it, I got wine right here. It's definitely necessary. As mothers, we definitely need, something to help us take the edge off of the day, just to help us kind of relax, because sometimes bubble baths and massages just don't do it. Okay. So you got to have that bottle of wine in hand. I think I'm thinking we should probably do an episode about that, like different wines. And I'm also open to if any wine companies are listening to this podcast, I can be a sponsor. Just saying. But, Again, y'all, welcome to another episode of Motherhood is Ghetto, episode 6. And I thank you guys all for listening to episode 5, Story Time. I think I'll do a story time every once in a while just to kind of, break up the episodes. And you guys really like that. And thank you for all the feedback. Thank you for letting me know that I didn't fuck up. But yeah, that was just a really scary situation. But I thank you guys for listening and sending me love and support on that episode. So let's kick off this episode. Of course, the quote of the day, quote of the episode never has anything to do with what we're actually talking about. So amen, amen. So today I wanted to talk about the difference between being grateful and being appreciative. So the difference between the word grateful and appreciate. And are we teaching our kids the difference? Do our kids know the difference? So I thought this topic was cool to touch on because, holidays are coming up, that time of year is coming up. And I often think to myself, am I teaching my kids the difference between the two? Am I teaching them to be grateful and also teaching them how to appreciate something? Because when you think about it surface level, they kind of are one and the same, but when you actually look up the definitions, like they're different. They're really different. So let's start with that. Let's go over the definition of grateful and appreciate. For those that might not know. So to be grateful for something is to have a feeling or showing an appreciation of kindness or be thankful. So, I'm very grateful for all the help that you gave me. I'm very grateful that you are here to help me paint this house. So it's showing appreciation of kindness. And then the definition of appreciate is to recognize the full worth of something. That's a word right there, to recognize the full worth. So when I think about, teaching my kids the difference of being grateful and being appreciative, I think that I've just been teaching my kids that how to be grateful. I don't really think that I've really taught them how to appreciate. And I'll tell you why I feel that way. I'll give you guys an example. So when I was growing up, one of my brothers, I have 4 older brothers. One of them was really into collecting comic books and action figures and stuff. He was really into that. Like that was his jam. And he kept his collection of things for a long time. And he kept them in the little plastic, was, really anal about the pages getting bent, or how on the spine of the comic book, like he didn't want to bend the pages all the way back. Like he was really careful and took really good care of his stuff and was a collector. And even to this day, he's still like that. He collects things and he keeps things that he really likes and enjoys. So I would say my brother is definitely someone who appreciates things. He knows their worth. He knows their value, and he takes care of them and handles them with a certain amount of care. Now for me, growing up, I already know I wasn't appreciative of shit. I was grateful. I was grateful that we had everything that we had, or that I was able to get everything I was able to get. But I think when I think back to when I was younger, I had a sense of like, well, if I'm good or if I get good grades, then I get this. And I was grateful for the things that I had, but I don't think that I really appreciated the things that I had because I didn't see the real value. Like I didn't see the value in the Barbie dolls that my parents were getting me. I didn't see the value in all the things that my parents would get for me, that would down the line either end up messed up, broken, and thrown away later on. But I was grateful for it though. Like, I was happy that I was a good kid and then I would get rewarded. I was grateful for that, but I didn't really appreciate. And I know I didn't because, like I told you on episode 1, I thought we were rich. And I thought that, my parents could afford 10 more of what they would get from me. So I never really, at least I feel, I don't know, my parents might have a different view, but I feel like I really didn't appreciate. I was grateful, but I didn't appreciate the things that I had. I didn't see their full value and their full worth. And also, too, I didn't realize what my parents what my parents had to put into that to get those things for me. I didn't realize or appreciate that they worked hard every day to be able to get me those things. Or that might have been their last, $20-$30 that they spent on me. And I didn't even know it. And I wasn't thinking like that, and being appreciative of the worth and the value behind it. So, fast forward to present day, when I think about, teaching my kids to be grateful and be appreciative, I think that my kids are grateful for sure, but I think that and me personally, I just think that I have a little bit more to do to teach them how to appreciate more, how to see the full worth in something, because my kids, they get the things like they have the PS5s and they have the phones and tablets and stuff like that and laptops and all that stuff. And I see the way that they handle them, and like I see how when they use it every day, it's kind of like just something that they just expect to be there or that they should have. And I don't think that they really appreciate the value behind the things that they have, and they don't really appreciate, that, this could be gone tomorrow, or, this can be gone like in a second. So, and then also too, like I said, with the holidays coming up, I know for me, for the last year or two, I've really been trying to focus and teach my kids and show them like, the holidays, gift giving and all that stuff. It's not always about, how many gifts you get, or, if I'm able to buy you guys Halloween costumes or all that stuff. Like, you guys really need to know and appreciate that I'm doing this because I want to, not because I have to. And you need to see the value in it. And I think that they're old enough, and some kids get it at a young age. Like they really do get it at a young age. And there's children that really appreciate. That's why, like, kids that collect things until they're adults, like they have it with them until those are people that grew up knowing how to appreciate what they have. But like with me, I don't got nothing from when I was a little kid. Like, I have some things, like things that were given to me, like pieces of jewelry and stuff that my dad gave me, or that are like heirlooms and stuff, because I knew the worth, I knew the value. But a lot of other things, like, they gone because I didn't really see the real value in it. And that's what I want to teach my kids. I want them to see the value and how much what they have is worth. And then with the holidays coming up, that's where I was getting to. I've kind of like gotten away from buying all these mountain of gifts for them, because I already know toys. I'm not buying no more toys. I stopped buying actual toys for my kids, because they just end up broken. And I end up throwing them away. So I really try to focus on getting them things that they can use and that is helpful to them and that they can appreciate and see the value in, and that can help be a part, like a helpful part of their life. So, and then with that too, like holidays and stuff, like I want to take more trips and vacations, instead of gift giving, because that quality time, that time with family, that time spent with them is something that is priceless. You can't put a price tag on that. And I want them to know that this life that we're living right now, this life as we know it, I don't know what's in store for their sweet souls, in the next life, but in this life, we only got one shot at this one together. So I want them to know that it has meaning and it has value. And when we spend time together, no matter if we're gift giving or whatever the case may be, the time that we spend together and us just being here alive, able to enjoy the liberties and just the simple things that people take for granted, like that is a blessing in itself, and it's something to be appreciated, and it's way more valuable than anything I can buy you from any store. So that's what I'm on, as far as teaching my kids the difference and trying to convey to them, it's cool that you're grateful. They say thank you. They love the things when they first get them, and they really like them. But then after a while, that fades away, and they just treat it like everything else. Like the other day, I seen my youngest son throwing his phone around. I said, "Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on." I said, "I know you just didn't throw that phone like it was just a little piece of toy." Um, so it's just things like that. And I think that it's important that we teach our kids the difference, and kudos to you if you're already teaching them the difference, between being grateful and being appreciative. I know that, like I said, I'm being honest and transparent. I know I haven't been doing that. I've just been telling them, like, you need to say thank you, and be grateful for what you have, because there's other families and kids that don't have this. But like me just saying that doesn't describe its value or its worth, or convey to them how much value this thing has. So that is my mission, and that's something that I'm working on for me with my kids and my family. But what about you guys? Are you guys teaching your kids a difference? And if you are, what are some tips that you can give some other moms that have kids that may not even be grateful or appreciative? Because some kids are just like that. Like, no matter what you do, like, they just think that you owe them everything. Even when they get older, they just think you did them some disservice by bringing them into this world, and you owe them something. I remember I saw a story or read a story or something about this 20-year-old that was suing her parents for bringing her into this world because she didn't ask to be here, and she had to fend on her own and provide her own place to stay and her own food to eat. So she was suing her parents for giving her life. Like, if that's a person that don't appreciate nothing, then I don't know what is. But yeah, that's the space that I'm in with my kids, especially as we go into this holiday season. Spooky season is about to kick off. It's pretty much already kicked off. And, I just want them to I want them to be grateful, but also see the value and the worth of the things that they have, and be able to appreciate time, time over things. Like, I want them to start thinking more like that. And, this time that we have together and that we're able to spend together is valuable. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So, I think for this episode, I'm going to land the plane here. Again, if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram at motherhood_is_ghetto. Follow me there. Make sure you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you love to listen to your podcasts. And also, too, a theme song for the podcast is coming, mamas. I swear it is coming. For those of you that don't know, I am a musician. I do music. do. Let me see what I did there. So I want to create an original, theme song for our podcast. And I wanted to kind of fit, the vibe of what we have. So it's on the way. So don't come for me because I don't have no special little theme song yet, because it's coming. But thank you guys again so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and until next time, mamas.